If I had a magic printing press in my basement that every time I ran it, people in Congress got poorer, I'd run it all day long, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
to even it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it works against us. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely something wrong. There's definitely something that needs to be corrected. And what's interesting is that they are doing, and what you're talking about with this great taking is that there's these laws that they've written that make it to where, and one thing you said in your recent episode or recent interview was that, we'd have to trust the court system, right? We'd have to, because they've written these now as contracts rather than you physically own it in your hands, it's yours. Now it's this, okay, it's in theory yours via this contract. A contract's a legal document. Legal contracts get adjudicated in courts. You would have to trust that when it's your day in court because something's happened to your property, that they're going to side with you versus their buddies on Wall Street. You'd have to trust. And if you believe that the courts are trustworthy, great, then maybe it's an okay system. But I think most of us realize that the courts are also just packed with buddies of buddies.
Exactly. And I lost faith in our legal system quite a while ago because of strange things. And it used to be that a court would be a place where they would decide something. That's all you had to do, be familiar with the law, and you would decide, did this fall within this law or not? Now they make rulings. It's like whatever the judge feels like, and whoever they happen to know, and maybe they're buddies. It doesn't even have to follow the law anymore, right? We watch this
Right.
happen over and over again with Trump. They're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
And and that's the legal system we have. So again, if you trust that legal system to properly, fairly, and promptly adjudicate your claims, maybe you feel protected. But the promptly part is like, if we have a big crisis like this, it'll
Oh,
take
yeah.
1,000 years to get all that through the court system.
Right. Right. Yeah, you'll have lost everything and then some by that point. Kind of reminds me of a tweet that Thomas Massey put out there, Congressman Thomas Massey. He said that a while back he was sitting in a seminar or sitting someplace where he heard Justice Scalia speak, and Scalia was saying, you guys, like, he was talking to Congress and he was saying, leave us out of this. We're just judges. All we're supposed to do, we're not supposed to make the laws. We're not here to play referee between you and the executive branch.
Hmm.
We're just literally supposed to just tell you whether or not a rule was broken. That's it. Like, that's our job. We're just supposed to tell you this rule was broken. This is the remedy for that rule being broken. That's it. And he was kind of admonishing Congress, saying, "You guys are just using us as, for lawmaking, and we're not supposed to be doing this. We're just supposed to tell you if you broke a law and what
Yeah.
happens when that happens based on the laws that have been written." So it's
Well, and
interesting,
it's
but that's changed. And even Scalia says this has changed, and you guys are trying to change it.
well, they have, but who can even trust that the Supreme Court, which I now call the subprime court because of the rulings, um, like this FISA 702 thing that just got rammed through, right? It's clearly in violation of the Fourth Amendment. No question
Right.
about it. You know, Marbury v. Madison, 1802, they said, if a law is repugnant to the Constitution, it's not a law, right? And it just should be simple. You make the decision. You don't have to rule on it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to weigh national security. You just say no. Until you guys or gals amend the Constitution, that's a no-no. Full stop, done. Okay, next, right? It should be that simple, but we don't live in a nation of laws anymore. We live in a nation of rulings.
Yeah. All right. So people are going to want to know more about the Great Taking. In particular, they're going to want to know about how to protect themselves. I think that's like, it's one thing to hear about all this stuff and we're all alarmed by it. And it's like, oh, wow, it turns out you don't own your stocks and bonds. Well, there's something you can do about it, right? Not just learn about it and then be frightened. You have a course that is coming out because like what I watched, which was the summary, which was part 9 um,
Yeah.
of of the Great Taking that you'd been doing on your channel. And now you've got a seminar that you're going to be doing that's really going to break it down for people that they can attend virtually, I would assume.
It's a virtual webinar. It'll be live as well, so people can ask real questions, but watch the tape thing later if they want to. And I've assembled a team of experts, right? So lawyers who've been involved in this very deeply, and people who understand the plumbing of Wall Street, and financial advisors, and people who understand how to have gold in different jurisdictions, and people who understand about different types of IRAs that you can actually set up where you have a lot more control. So different experts on all of these with the idea that, not all of these will apply to everybody. Maybe some will, but we have 7 strategies to help people. At least this is my goal, Kim. I want people to not be the lowest hanging fruit on the tree, because that's who gets plucked in this story. And so for anybody who has wealth or is interested in this or has any savings to protect, you're going to want to know about this, and at least learn about it and then go, you know what, that's nuts. I don't care. I'm not, that's not right. But I want to notify people about it. That's all the great taking series I did. And then who cares about that if you don't have action? So this is the action part of this, right? So,
Okay. Like what you can do to protect yourself.
mhm.
And like you said, at least learn about it. I mean, we just kind of skimmed over it, but learn about the nuts and bolts of the actual laws that they wrote, what they actually mean in real life, in real practice. I think it's shocking. I mean, it's shocking that they have robbed us using the legal system, tax code, just all of this complicated jargon, and they have been able to pillage and plunder the American people through all of these very crafty ways, and they continue
Yeah.
to do it really
Well, as you
openly
know,
in our faces.
Kim, ignorance of the law is only that only protects police and congressmen. Ignorance of the law is no good on our end.
Right. Right. All right. So where can people you do have a special discount that people can access in order to get when is the seminar, first of all?
It's on June 15th, which is a Saturday. And until May 15th, people can get 30% off. Go to peakprosperity.com/event2. That's EVENT with a number 2. And so just come on by there and get your tickets. And of course, yeah, if you can attend the day of, please do. Otherwise, you can watch the recording at any time afterwards as well. And we'll have a booklet that comes with this that explains everything, all the references and links. I do all the work for people in front of this. And then also there's going to be some free other materials that we're offering from some of the other guests, like a free book from Suzanne
Oh,
Trimeth,
awesome.
which is amazing. So yeah, we make it as easy as possible, and I'm just trying to help people as best I can avoid this, because no more for the raccoons.
Well, I'm glad that you are. People always I'll get emails all the time about the show and they'll say, Kim, I'm glad that you sound the alarm and all these things, but what do we do? What do we do?" I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm just here sounding the alarm. I mean, I'm just seeing stuff happen and I'm talking about it, but I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm just as lost as anybody else and just as alarmed as anybody else. So it's good that there are people like you out there actually trying to proactively do something to help people to as best as we can anyway from the powers that be. So I do have that link down below. Chris, thank you so much for being here. This is really I'd never heard of the Great Taking before. And but then of course, as I started watching your stuff and learning about it, I was like, of course they've done this to us. Of
mhm,
course. It's
yeah,
just another, par for the course of them stealing from us and making sure that we don't actually own anything.
exactly.
So thank you, Chris, for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Kim, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson show, which you could catch just by heading to that link down below, KimIversonShow.com. You can watch the full show from what you just watched, or you could catch the full show live Monday through Friday, live streams, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. See you then. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Never miss an episode, never miss a clip, never miss a segment. Thanks, guys.